Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my first Halloween tutorial. Whoop whoop! Who's excited for Halloween? This girl. I'm calling this character right here the Fall Witch. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen a little bit of her. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump on in and get started. First thing I'm doing is I'm starting off with the Morphe M439 brush and the Miranda water activated paint. I'm just using the white color that they have, and I'm applying that all over my neck, chest, and face. I'm not trying to make my skin white. I'm just trying to make my skin look pale, because I figure, you know, if I'm a fall witch, I probably don't spend much time at the beach in the summer, probably like hiding in a dirt hole or something like that until it's fall, you know? And then the next thing I do is I take the lightest shade that I have in the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and it's in the color Fair Light. And I'm basically using this as foundation. I really wanted to conceal my freckles. I don't know, I associate freckles with summertime. If you have freckles, then you know that they get darker in the summer. So yeah, I don't think our little fall time witch here is gonna have any frecklies. Next thing I'm doing here is I'm taking the lightest shade that they sell in the LA Girl Pro foundation. I don't know exactly the shade name because, as you can see, I was completely out of this and I'm scraping whatever's left at the bottom of the bottle, and then I threw it away after this before I got the chance to look at the name, so sorry. And the next thing I'm doing here is taking these two orangey shades from the James Charles and Morphe palette, and I'm using the Morphe M437 brush. And really this next section of the tutorial is just I'm going to be sculpting out my entire face using those three shades that are right next to each other in that palette. The orange, the more warm terracotta shade, and then the dark brown next to it are going to be my three essential shades that I'm using for this entire tutorial. I really wanted to stick to very fall time colors. My inspiration for this look was like a fall time leaf. So just really playing off of those orange, yellows, browns, and things like that. Those are the colors that I use to sculpt my face and my chest with. I know it seems like really heavy, and that's because it is. We are going hamon on these eyeshadows, okay? It's go big or go home season. It's Halloween, booze. Next, I'm taking this fluffy angled contouring brush. I believe it's by e.l.f. I really can't remember. The name has worn off of it. And I'm using that dark brown shade in the palette. And I'm using this to really carve out my cheekbones. I just really want to give the illusion that this witch has been living in the woods, is really sunken in, very sickly looking. Not sickly, but, you know, very schemy. It's okay if the eyeshadows don't, you know, perfectly blend out. I kind of left them purposely messy because the idea here is like if you're a fall-time witch and you live in the woods, you probably got some dirt on your face. So I wanted to give the illusion that she was also just dirty. I mean, she's a witch, so can they really be clean? Probably not. Next, I am taking the Morphe M513, and I'm using, again, those same 3 shades to contour my nose. And now I'm taking the white shade in the palette on the Morphe M433 brush. And I'm kind of using that to clean up certain areas of the contour that I didn't like and lighten up some certain areas that maybe I went a little too far with the dark colors. So I'm really gonna apply this on the high points of the face to kind of bring those areas forward. Forehead, under the eyes, underneath the cheekbones, all the usual areas that you would highlight and contour is exactly what I'm doing here, but I'm just doing it 100 times more intense. And I'm using the same exact brush. I just dipped into that creamy yellow shade, and I'm kind of using that as a transition between the browns and the white areas of my face. And you can see that kind of like really melts those two colors together, and it fuses them nicely. And now I'm going back into that Morphe M513 brush, and yet again, just using those same exact orange and terracotta shades to start sculpting out the like tendons and like the tendons in my neck and then my collarbone area to really, you know, make myself look famished and skinny. So first what I did was I took those orange like terracotta shades and I blended those out first. And then I took a lighter shade on the Morphe M433 brush and I kind of blended out the areas where I went a little too heavy-handed. And so as you can see there, I'm kind of taking that orange shade and blending that out into my skin, so that way it kind of diffuses nicely. And then I'm taking a smaller brush, I believe that one was the, let me see here, the M441 brush, and no, sorry, that is the M433 brush, and I am using that one to really add those shadows. So everywhere that there would be like a crevice in your neck, there would be a darker shadow. So I'm using that M433 brush to apply that darker brown shade into the deepest areas where I would be the most sunken in if my bones were really sticking that far out. I hope that makes sense. And now I'm taking that angled contour brush again, and I am very lightly using that dark brown shade to make my cheeks look even more sunken in. I'm kind of just dragging it all the way down to my chin to just give the appearance that I'm really sunken in on the cheeks. I had this really weird dry patch on my nose, and colors were just clinging to it very strangely, so don't mind that. And now I'm using the M441 brush, and I'm just kind of blending out the harsh lines. I'm kind of all over the place in this tutorial. I'm sorry for that. It's just when I get into that creative mind, I just sort of go with it. I don't even think about the fact that I'm recording. So sorry this is all over the place. I'll try to narrate as best as possible. So I'm using here the Morphe M433 brush again, and I'm just using that light shade and highlighting the areas that are more forward. And then I dipped into the highlighting shade and the white shade in the James Charles palette. And I'm using those to, again, just highlight the highest points that I want to stand out. And now what I'm doing here is I'm using an Urban Decay liner brush, and I am filling in my eyebrows. I'm just using that dark brown shade again in the James Charles palette. And I wanted my eyebrows to be extra dark, and then I also wanted them to look messy and overgrown. So you'll kind of see what I'm doing here. I kind of just flick it out in certain areas to make it look like the hairs are longer. They're a little grown out, they're a little bushy, they're sticking up in weird places. So and now I'm actually using that same liner brush, and I am starting the leaf that is going to be on my head. So again, the inspiration behind this witch is that she lives in the fall time. She comes alive in the fall when the leaves start to change color. So I really wanted to embody that and put a leaf on her head. I'm gonna try to let the video show you most of what I'm doing because I am feeling a little under the weather, and doing this voiceover is killing my throat for some reason. I have to cough every couple of seconds. Sorry. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking a lip liner. I used the the MAC lip liner in the shade Spice, and I'm kind of outlining that leaf. I was using that Urban Decay liner brush and a brown eyeshadow, but it was proving to be very difficult to map out the shape that I wanted. So the lip liner actually worked a lot better. a lot better. And now I'm dipping back into that brown eyeshadow and using that Urban Decay liner brush. And I'm starting to add in the shadows here. And you'll see me go back and forth and do that quite a lot in this video. I just keep kind of going back and darkening those areas in between the leaves. I'm trying to really make it look like it's 3D and like it's sticking off of my forehead. And if it was sticking off of my forehead, then it would be casting a shadow. So that's kind of the idea that I'm going for when I'm putting these browns and these blacks on the outer edges of the leaf. I'm just trying to make it look like it's casting a shadow on my head. And now I'm starting to just fill in the leaf. I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills double-ended brush that comes with the Jackie Aina palette. I'm just using the paddle side of the brush, and I'm using that orange shade from the James Charles Morphe Palette. And I'm starting with that color on the outer edges and bottom portion of the leaf. And then as we go towards the top, I'm going to dip into more yellow tones to mimic the, of course, the colors that you would naturally see on a fall time leaf. And again, you see me here just going back and adding some more shadows around the leaf. Here you see me going in with a NYX liquid eyeliner and adding those veins that are inside of a leaf, but I ended up not really liking the way that they came out, so you'll see me change those later on in the tutorial. Yeah, you can see I switched back and forth between the eyeliner and then a brush, and it was like, I don't know, it just wasn't coming out right. So I kind of took a break from it and started adding more shadow underneath the leaf. Now I'm going in with a really small, tiny definer brush, and I'm adding a black eyeshadow really close into those crevices on the leaf, so to really give the illusion that there's a shadow there. And now I'm dipping into these 3 shades in the James Charles palette, and I am using the Morphe M504 brush, and I am blending that out into my crease. And then I'm taking the Morphe M441 brush, and I'm taking the next darkest shade next to that orange, that more terracotta brown shade, and I'm defining the crease just a little bit more. And I really am dragging this out into my temples to just give the eyes a little bit more of a elongated appearance. And then using that same brush, I dipped into the dark brown shade and started to fill in that outer started to fill in that outer V portion of the eye. And then I took the Morphe M433 brush and dipped into the black shade and really packed that on into the outer corners of the eye, the outer V. And then now I'm using a Morphe pencil brush. I believe the brush that I'm using there is the E18 brush, and I am packing on that black eyeshadow onto the lower lash line, just on the outer corners of the eye. I drag it into the inner corner just a little bit, but not all the way. And then I dipped back into that Morphe M433 brush, and I dipped into the black, and I started to smudge this downward where my pupil is, almost to give the illusion like I've just been crying, and my makeup has been smudged from where I cried. She's a sad witch. And then I'm just using the Smashbox Always On Gel Eyeliner in the shade Fishnet. It's just their black color. I'm filling in my waterline with that. And then I just jump right over to the lips, and I'm using that same that lip liner that I used on my forehead. I'm using the MAC Spice lip liner. It's a nice brown shade, and I'm just using that actually as my lipstick. I'm just outlining my lips and also filling them in with that. And then what I'm doing here is I'm taking that M433 brush, and I'm using a dark brown shade, and I'm shading the outer corners of my lips. What this is gonna do, you can kind of see it here next to the other one that wasn't done. It gives the lips a longer appearance, and it also kind of makes that area just look a little messy, a little undone, a little bit like I have dirt on my face. I don't know, I just really liked the effect that this gave, so I think it came out pretty cool. And then I used the same exact brush, and I dipped into the yellow shade in the palette, and I tapped it onto the center of the lips. And I thought that that kind of gave it a really cool illusion as well. And then here is where I start on the black veins on my eyes. So really the idea behind this is I was again just trying to mimic the veins that you see on a leaf. So I'm using the NYX black liquid eyeliner, and I'm just kind of randomly drawing these twig-like shapes. And this part is actually easier than it looks, because they don't have to be perfect. That's the best part of this tutorial, is it can be messy. And then you just want to pop on your favorite black mascara. Any mascara will do, nothing fancy. I didn't even do lashes in this tutorial because I feel like it would take away from the veins that we did on the eyelids, so no lashes necessary. And then here, all I'm doing is I found some leaves off of this fall decoration that I had in my house. I just picked them off, and I glued a total of 3 leaves onto my head. Since the one that was painted on my head was facing downwards, I did 2 facing left and right, and then a smaller one facing upwards, and I stopped there. I thought that looked pretty cool as is, so that is pretty much it. That's the whole tutorial. I know it looked complicated, but it really wasn't. It just took me so long to do it because I was trying to come up with the look as I was doing it, if that makes any sense at all. But I promise, now that I know what I'm doing, if I was to redo this look, it would probably take me maybe like an hour rather than the 3 hours that it took me originally. So I hope you guys had fun watching this tutorial. I hope it is something that you guys can recreate for Halloween and you have fun doing it. If you do recreate this look for Halloween and you decide to be a fall-time witch, I highly recommend using white eye contacts because I feel like it looks so cool with this look. The two pictures that I posted on Instagram, I used a photo editing app to white out my pupils, and I feel like it looks so cool like this. So definitely, if you can get your hands on some white contacts, I think it would absolutely complete this look. So I hope you guys learned something from today, and I hope you guys stay tuned and that I see you in my next tutorial. That's pretty much it. I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.